Hello and happy Monday and welcome to Adobe Live. My name is Liz Mosley and we are going to be spending the next half an hour in Adobe Express for our weekly Adobe Express stream. So I'll just say hello to everyone joining me in the chat. We've got Tony right up at the top of the chat with his puns already. Happy Mo Day. I think that's meant to be Monday. Let's all live our best lives. Yes, let's. Hi, Gareth. Hi, Oliver. Doris. Hi, Evie. Happy Monday. So great to have you all with me. And today we are going to be thinking a bit about logo design. We are going to be creating a logo for an event. So, not for a company. Yeah, we're not creating sort of branding for a product or a company, but for a particular event. So let's just jump straight in. We'll head over into Adobe Express. If anyone's got any questions, feel free to put them in the chat and I will happily attempt to answer them. Okay, so when you land on the Adobe Express sort of homepage, you get served up lots of different templates. You'll see across here, you'll see here there's a logo option. This is for you to start from scratch. But if we scroll down a bit further, you'll see all sorts of different things that are helpful. So Instagram stories, Instagram posts, Facebook posts. But if you keep going, we'll get to logos. And then if you click on view all, we can have a little look. And so these are logo templates that have been already created by designers, but you can go in and customize with your information. Now, because I'm creating a logo for an event, I don't feel like it has to be super unique or different. So I'm actually going to use a pre-made template to help me save time and to make things quicker for me. But what I'm going to have a little think about is sort of the feel that I want to go for my event. So obviously there's lots of different designs here. And so it's going to be a case of choosing which logo sort of gets across what I am trying to communicate with my event. So, okay, let me just try not to get distracted by the questions in the chat. I will have a look at them in a second. Okay, so first up, I am going to be creating an event called the Branding Event Live. And I want it to be, I want the sort of the feel to be very like bold, confident, kind of an exciting feel. So, for example, something like this that's quite sort of delicate and feminine, I don't think is going to work for this particular event. Although I do really like this logo and I think it would work really well for maybe like a candle company or something like that. So we'll just scroll down and have a look at some of the different logos available. And obviously, once you've sort of picked a logo that you want to work with, you can, change. We'll be able to edit it. Obviously, I'm going to change all the text. I'm going to change like the colors, all that kind of thing. So let's just keep scrolling down and have a look. I actually really love this one. I think it's really cool. You'll see that it's also like filtered it into types of logos as well. So these are all monograms. This one for a kids wear company is super cute. And I also really like the color palette of it as well. But I think I'm going to go for this one because I think this fits the brief of sort of bold, punchy, exciting. Again, you'll see that, and I've mentioned this before, there's a little crown. So this means that this particular logo is only available in the premium version. But as you'll see as we scroll through, absolutely loads of them are available on the free version. So let's just have another quick look and see what else there is before making my final decision. You'll see that also what's really nice is there's a whole range of different styles. So if you want to go for something more retro like this, you can. Lots of great suggestions as well about what sort of brands they'd work for. That's pretty cool. Taboo. I feel like that would only work well for a business, or that works particularly well for like a one name kind of thing. So I think I am going to go with this one. I think this is going to work well. So I'm just going to click on start from that. And obviously, it's going to be pretty quick for me to create my logo. One of the things that I am going to think about as well is what other sort of elements that I might need for my event branding. So yes, I'll need the logo, but I might need some other things as well. So first up, let's just get all of this changed and create it into the like what my logo is going to be. So I've just ungrouped everything so that I can easily edit it. And you'll see with this font that basically it's all in caps, but if you use a lowercase, it's a narrower letter. And if you use an uppercase, then it's a wider letter, which I actually think adds a really sort of fun, playful feel to this logo. So it's going to be called the branding event. So I'll just change this one to branding. And I'll make sure that I have a mix of lowercase and uppercase letters. So we'll see how this looks. So maybe something like that. I'll just make it smaller so that it fits in this box. If you have been, obviously we had a whole period of time where we couldn't go to in-person events, but if you've been to any great in-person events, let me know what your favorite is in the chat, because I would love to go to more this year. Obviously, last year I got to go to Adobe Max, which was awesome. That was an amazing in-person event. So we'll do let's mix it up with the letter sizes. I quite like this feature of this font. It's called Anisette Standard Extra Bold. I like it. So I'm just going to play around with the sizes. I can easily adjust like the box sizes as well. So I don't need this one to be this long. So I'll just bring that down a bit and it still has the same look and feel. I might make the branding one a bit bigger because I want that to be the sort of most prominent bit of the logo, since that's what my event is about. And what I'm going to do is send these two backwards so that the sort of branding box sits on top. And yeah, hopefully that'll work. I'll just bring this down slightly so that everything can be read easily. So a few things to think about when creating a logo. So we thought about the feel that we want for our logo. Also thinking about legibility is really important. So because we've got a very bold sans serif, I think that this is like pretty good in terms of legibility. Another thing to consider is accessibility. So we'll have a think about that when we're coming up with our colors for the branding. Also thinking about where it's going to be used. So obviously, we want to be able to use this in a variety of different places. So for example, social media, email headers, on the website. So have a think about where it's going to be important for this logo to work. And it might be that it's a case of creating a few different variations. So, you know, we might create like a monogram version that would look better on social media, for example. So yeah, all things to consider when creating. But you'll see that this has not taken long at all because I have been working from this template. So that is really handy. Okay, oh, great. Tony loves this already. Emma says it looks awesome. So now that I've kind of got my text in, let's have a play around with the colors. So I'm just going to close this and head to colors. Now, one of my favorite things to do in Adobe Express is to just scroll through loads of the different color options. Now, what you might want to do is, and this is a good tip from Sean, who's often in the chat, is instead of if you sort of want to try a whole load of different colors and you don't want to have to keep undoing to get back to one you liked, then you can just duplicate the page and just keep, every time you have one you like, then you can duplicate the page and then you've got a whole range of color options that you can choose from. So we'll duplicate the page, save that option, and then we can scroll through some of these colors. So I'm going to go for bold, since we're going for sort of bold branding. And it's serving me up with loads of different color options, which I honestly find really helpful because sometimes it can be hard starting from scratch with a color palette. So let's just pick a few of these to try. That one's definitely making my eyes go funny. Now you'll see here, you've got the shuffle button, so you can just keep scrolling through each of the color palettes to come up with something that you like. I actually don't think this color palette is working for me at all. So let's try a few others. If anyone sees anything that they like the look of. Oh, okay. I actually quite like that. I'm not sure about all the boxes being the same color, but I really like the red and the purple together. Let's try a few options. Oh, that's quite nice as well. Orange and purple. You'll see that some of them are definitely not that legible. So, yeah, not necessarily a good option. Let's try a few more and see what we get. The red, oh, see, yellow background with red looks cool. Red and purple. Yeah, I think red and purple is nice. I quite like the bold pink. All the turquoise and pink's pretty cool as well. I think I do want to have the boxes different colors rather than all the same because I think this logo works particularly well. Or have two colors like this. I'm going to keep going with a few. Let me just get that, see if I can get that red and, oh, purple and yellow. There's so many options. Was it the red and purple? Let's just make this a purple. I'm going to save this one, duplicate the page, and then we can go again with a different option. Let's see what else there is. You'll see as well, yeah, there's a whole range, but we can go into, I quite like that one as well. I think the blue and the pink are making my eyes go a bit funny, but we could maybe adjust this one. I'm going to save another one. Let's get a whole bunch and then we can go through at the end and pick what our favorite is. I actually like this as a palette, but I might go in and change the different colors. Tony says, does Express have accessibility tools like on a color.adobe.com? Not built in at this stage, but you can easily go to color.adobe.com and then you can put in your hex codes and it's going to give you advice on the color accessibility, which thanks for mentioning that, Tony, because that is a really useful tool. And it's going to flag up things like, red and green often, if you're colorblind, those are not easy to see together or you can't see them at all. But you can check the contrast of your colors on there. It is really helpful. I use it in most of my projects, to be honest, to check, especially for text legibility on websites, in particular color combinations. I find it really useful. Okay, let's try. So I can just click on this button here and see view all pages so we can see what we're at. Looking at this, it does really make me think that I like the 3 different colors for the boxes. So I'm going to find a color palette that I like, but then I'm going to go in and edit it so that comes up. Okay, let's just do a few more. So we've got a bit more to choose from. I feel like this was the winner potentially, with the yellow, the purple, and the red. But we just got to make sure that it is accessible. Let's scroll through a few more options. And then I think I'm going to use this color palette as my starting point, but change these elements. So this is what we've got so far. Let's go into this one and work on this. So we'll change the different colors. Now you'll see very helpfully, it's saved a current palette for me, which is really useful. So I can go in and save some of the colors, change some of the colors so that I've got everything sort of looking cohesive together. So let's have a play around with this. Maybe a darker blue would work better. So I can easily go in and sort of change it on here. Might change it, try the font in the purple, maybe a lighter purple. Let's see. And it is really handy that it sort of saves all of your colors. Maybe I'll leave those in the yellow. What do we think? Let me know if there's any other colors that you think should be added into this palette. I'm not sure about the purple background now. maybe I'm going to go back to the color palettes because I don't like what I've done to it. But you'll see now it's adjusted it. So you've got up here your current colors. If you've got a brand kit set up, you'll see that I've got my brand colors set up here, so I can easily click on that. Now that's really handy if you want your event to be branded the same as your business, so it can have the colors consistent. Let's just try a couple more and see if we can get something that is working. Maybe I'm trying to put too many colors in there and that's why it's not looking quite right. Let me go back to maybe this one. Maybe this one's the winner, but maybe with a different color instead of the green in the background. Maybe like a teal. And what I might do is just switch this around. So the text is the red. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere now. I think the background's still not quite the right color. What would be a good option? Maybe a black? Maybe actually at this point, let's keep it white. So actually keep it simple. So that I think will be our final logo. So we'll go with the dark purple and the red. And so what I'm going to do now is I've got this saved logo and I'm going to download it so that I can make my brand kit. So I'll head to, let me just move the box out of the way, head to download, and I'm going to save it as a PNG with a transparent background. I just want this page because otherwise it's going to download all the other logo options for me. So let's just start download. I'm just going to save this to my desktop. And then I can set up my brand kit. So what we're going to do is head back to the home page and we are going to go to brands and I'm going to create a brand. So it's going to prompt me to upload my logo. So now I can just find it from there. And immediately it's showing you how it's going to look on a whole variety of sort of different marketing collateral. And actually seeing it like this is making me like it even more. I think it's working pretty well. So then we can pick our color and it's going to give me the color palette from here. So I'll go with red as my sort of dominant color. And then we can go back and edit that later. And then I'm going to choose my font and I'm going to just go for a sort of classic sans serif just to complement the font that we used in the logo. So we'll go with Lato Bold for now. So that has created my brand kit or the basics of it. I will call it the branding event. Ooh, eventy, and create my brand. And so now I can go in and add more colors. So one thing I am going to need to do is go and find the hex codes of these other colors here. So if I head back to home and I can get back into this project and find the logo that I was working on. And I'm just going to find the hex code. So here we've got it there. And then I'll head back to my brand kits and I'll just add that in to my colors here. So at the moment, I've just got my 2 colors, so that's great. And those are saved there for me. I think that is all set up fine. Let's just go and can anyone remember what that font was called? Let me see. I definitely should have made a note of that. I'm going to change this one to Lato. Replace. Anisette. That was it. Thanks, Tim. Right. Let's see. Maybe you can't have that in this section. Let's see if I can find it. Probably, maybe it's best to keep that just for the logo anyway. So we'll keep the fonts as Lato. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to my project. So this is all saved. If I was working with a team, then I could invite people to this brand kit. So then they would have access to all of this information and everything that we create for this event would be consistent, which is obviously really important when it comes to branding and such a great feature. So if I head back to the home page and I go into my projects, what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this project. So I'm going to call it branding event. And now I'm going to set up other sort of elements that I might need for the event. So I'm just going to go in and delete the pages that I don't need anymore. So these different color options, Adobe Express is going to keep asking me if I recommend it. Yes, I do. Okay, so let's just delete all of these bits that we don't need. So now we've just got our logo page, and I'm going to duplicate that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some different headings that I can use maybe as GIFs, maybe on the website, things that I can, like graphics that I can use on social media. I'll also create some story templates. So again, we're looking to make the branding all really consistent. So what I'm going to do is just move these elements apart. So what I'll do, for example, is create a banner that says speakers. And so then I can create a social media post. I need to remember to have some lowercase. That is going to introduce the different speakers that are speaking at the event. So let's just delete these out of our way. So I can set up a template. And again, I'll be able to invite collaborators to this. So assuming that I'm running this event with a whole load of different people, then they're going to be able to go in and update these templates. So let's just create a few different options for this. So the first thing I'm going to do is create my speaker template. So I'm going to just get some stock images for now. I'm going to put in headshots and see what we find. And we'll just find some friendly looking people to speak at our event. So obviously I will then update this with the real speakers. So I'm just going to crop and shape this image. I'm going to go with a circle, and you can just position where you want it to be. And what I'm going to do is make a little sort of roster of speakers, crop and shape. Let's just move this up. And then these are going to make some great social media posts, and you'll see that everything will start to look consistent. Let's find some more people to speak at our event. Let me know in the chat, what your favorite event you've been to is. Hi, Annika. Nice to see you. Good morning. Technically, it's not morning here anymore, but I know it is for you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is get in some of the colors that we've used. So we'll get the red, and you'll see that it's like saved it for me. And also I'll be able to go in if I was working on this project, I could go in and change it over to the brand that I've created for this, so that everything will be saved there. So just move this layer down to the back. Just get this lined up. I'm going to group these together so that I can make them a bit smaller and easily move things around. Okay. So you can see once you've made the decisions about the color palette and you've got your logo, that it's really easy to then put together all the sort of promotional elements that you'd need. And like I said, so nice that you can create a team basically that can access this brand kit, so that it doesn't just have to be you working on it. You can have all sorts of people working on it, but they'll know exactly what font to use, exactly what colors to use. and they won't have to keep looking everything up. So I'm just going to bring that to the front. And now we're starting to get promotional material together for our event that I am now wishing was a real event and not made up one. So, right, now what we're going to do is add our text. And so what we do is have speaker name. Because I'm just making a template. I'm not gonna try and make up names for them all. I'm gonna put this into the Lato bold so that there's not too much of this font. And then we'll have, say, the name of their talk underneath. We'll put that into purple, and we'll just go for a Lato regular for that. We'll just change that to name of the talk they are giving. Hi, Mohammed. Nice to see you. Right, let's just make this slightly smaller. Go for 18. And then we'll just set that up there. And now I can just copy and paste this. And here I have made a template that can be easily updated then for all the speakers. And what I'm going to do is just head over to shapes and see if I can find something related to speaking, like a symbol or something that we can use that isn't too cheesy. Maybe that's too much to ask for. Oh, I like the Pac-Man version, the Pac-Man option. Maybe something like this, where they're standing at a podium. Maybe we'll find, we'll get a square shape. Ooh. Sort of have that going off in the background here in the red. So there we have our sort of speaker page. I'm just going to nudge all of this down. And then what I would probably do is copy this, and at the bottom, I'm going to put the website so that people know where to find out about the event. Get rid of the spaces. Brandingevent.com. And yeah, there we have it. So as you'll see, we quickly have created a logo for our brand and started to create some social media templates. And we also set up our brand kit, which if you head into brands in your account, you'll be able to see here, and you can manage it, and it's got all of your colors, your fonts, and your logos there. So actually what you will be able to do going forward is take the templates that are already in Adobe Express and click on the brand button, and then it's going to update it to all the colors and fonts for you really quickly. Yes, Angus pointed out the true designer nudge, just moving everything around slightly. Anyway, that's all we've got time for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Later on this afternoon, Tony Harmer is going to be here at 2 p.m. and he is going to be designing the cover of a hardback book. And I've had a sneak peek of what's to come, and it looks amazing. So you definitely don't want to miss that. And I will be back again next Monday with another Adobe Express stream at 12 p.m. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me. Hope you all have a great rest of your Monday. Bye.